So, Hussein, I'm going to ask you some questions about your childhood. Do you come from a large family or a small family?
I'm sorry, could you repeat, please?
Do you come from a large family or a small family?
Well, actually, it's not large or small. What's the word? It's middle. No, sorry, it's medium-sized. I am two brothers. Sorry, I have two brothers who are both older than me.
As a child, who did you spend more time with? Your family or your friends?
When I was a small child, I spent more time with my family, my mother, who looked after me, and I played a lot with my brothers. Then, when I was a bit older, about 10 or 11, I started to play more with friends I made at school, because we enjoyed doing the same things, and my mother went back to her job.
And when you were a child, how did you spend your free time?
I think I watched television quite a lot when I was a small child, and I played computer games with my brothers. When I was older, I did a lot of sports with my friends. We went swimming, and we played tennis and football because I love doing sports.
What did you enjoy most about school?
I think I enjoyed doing science subjects most. I liked physics and chemistry, especially. We didn't do sports at school, so I did those in my free time.
And when you were at school, who do you think was your best teacher?
I think perhaps my chemistry teacher, because she explained things very clearly. Also, she was very, I'm not sure about the word, interested. No, enthusiastic. She made us do tests, experiments in the laboratory, so we learned a lot. I never missed one of her lessons.
Good evening and welcome aboard the Pride of Poole. In this recorded announcement, we'll give you details of some of the facilities available on board this ship. You're currently standing in the reception area in the centre of B deck. If you're feeling hungry after a long day's travelling, go up the stairs to A deck, where you'll find the restaurant. The restaurant caters for all appetites, with anything from a light snack to a full 3-course meal. The restaurant will be open from the moment the ship leaves port to half an hour before arrival. Next to the restaurant on A deck in the lounge, there are reclining seats with music headphones if you want to relax. The headphones are free, but people using this area are encouraged to keep noise to a minimum, so that other passengers can enjoy themselves and sleep or read if they wish. For those of you who'd like some entertainment, just next door to us on this deck is a 40-seat cinema showing the latest full-length feature films. The cinema programme is available here at reception, but you'll have to buy the tickets themselves at the cinema entrance, just before you go in. Just next to the cinema is the staircase leading down to the cabins on C deck. To access your cabin, just show your boarding pass to a steward who will give you the key. On this deck, that is B deck, you'll also find an area where you can either play games in our special electronic games arcade or do your shopping. Just beyond that on the same level, people who want a bit of fresh air or just want to see the sea can go out onto the viewing deck. which is in the open air. Make sure you wear a jacket or coat, as it can be quite cold and windy. Now for some further details. This voyage is an overnight trip. The ship leaves port at 7 p.m. and the journey takes just over 12 hours and 45 minutes, reaching our destination at about 8 tomorrow morning. This is for the convenience of those wishing to catch the 9 o'clock train, which leaves from the ferry terminal. Passengers with children in their party are informed that there is a special section in the restaurant with kids' food and a play area. People with children are encouraged to turn up early to get a place, as the section is very popular. Make this a trip to remember. Here at the information desk, you can obtain a souvenir ship's keyring for €4.50. You can upgrade from a tourist class cabin to a first class cabin. And you can get your train tickets here, which will save you time queuing in the station tomorrow morning. If you buy them on the ship, you can get them for 20% off. For those using the lounge and wishing to check their email, there's a wireless connection, but you'll have to bring your own laptop. You can also watch the latest TV programs there or in the coffee bar next to the restaurant. Finally, a unique feature on this crossing only. Anyone who buys a fashion item from our wonderful range of men's and women's clothes in the shopping area has the chance to win a free holiday. All you have to do is complete a sentence starting, "I like Sealand ferries because," and the best sentence wins the prize of a holiday in Switzerland, with tickets to a 3-day music festival included. Talk to any member of staff for more details.
Well, I'm going to talk about a trip I made across Australia. The transport I used was a motorbike. It wasn't a new bike, it was, second hand. And I bought it because I wanted to see Australia. I didn't want to use public transport because I wanted to be independent. I had a month's holiday before I started my course, and I made a trip with a friend, a Chinese girl, because I was frightened of traveling alone. I met her at a language school where we studied English together. We traveled along the south coast and saw some of the desert. The good thing about the journey was that we met a lot of other people who were traveling. We went to places which are difficult to reach on public transport, and the trip was quite cheap. Also, the motorbike had quite a powerful engine, so it was fast and exciting. The bad things were the rain and the heat, because they made us tired. I have great memories of the trip, because I felt really free. We could go where we liked. Also, we met some very friendly people and we saw a lot of interesting places. I still have friends who I made during the trip. In all, I think it was the best journey I've ever made.
Good morning. Can you tell me about the ticket options, please?
Certainly. We've got various options, depending on whether you want to just visit parts of the exhibition or all of it. It's organised into various different sections, and because it's so large, you may not be interested in everything or have time for everything. You can buy tickets just for the sections you want to visit, and that makes it a lot cheaper.
Well, I've really come here to see things to do with electronics.
Right. Then I think you'll find the first part of the exhibition as you go in is quite relevant. It's all about electronics and how we can use them to protect the world around us. You know, the environment, and what we can do to avoid damaging it further.
Protecting the environment. That sounds interesting. Anything I should specially look out for there?
There are lots of new devices. One which fascinated me when I went round was a new instrument for measuring how the temperature of the ocean changes at different levels. And this can be done from a ship on the surface right down to the bottom.
Great. I'll look out for that.
Okay, and I see you've got your son with you, which is nice because the subject of the next section is all about different things for keeping an eye on your children and looking after their safety. It contains a range of things, from electronic instruments used in medicine to children's electronic games, and even a number of new devices to prevent children from having an accident when they're at home.
That sounds useful.
Yes, there's even an invention for older children. You'll see a demonstration of it while you're there, which helps parents to make sure their kids are going to school. Really useful in families where both parents work. It sort of electronically tells parents about their kids' attendance and sends them a signal via the internet.
Very convenient, but my son is a bit young to worry about that yet. Are there any other sections which feature electronics?
Sure. There's another section. It's the third you come to, I think, which should interest everyone. It contains lots of new electronic instruments or devices for looking after and working with money. You know, like that thing you must have heard of, which counts what you're putting into your supermarket trolley and adds up the bill as you go around.
Right, money. That sounds interesting too. Well, thanks for the information. I'd like tickets for myself and my son for those 3 sections then, please.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Before you go through, I wonder if you could help us by answering a few questions for a survey. It won't take long.
No problem. We're not in any hurry.
Fine, thanks. Now, let's look at the questions.
Okay.
Here they are. First one. Why are you visiting the exhibition?
Well, I want to keep up with the latest developments in electronics, you know. I was recommended by a friend to come here and see what new devices and inventions are coming out and learn a bit. I mean, I don't generally go shopping for new electronics. I'm not the sort of person who goes out and buys all the latest gadgets. The prices are too high when they're new. But it interests me. And I thought also there would be things which would interest my son, and he'd enjoy it as well. So that's why we're here.
Okay. And here's a question to find out what sort of consumer you are. Have you bought any electronics recently?
Recently? Sure. I was thinking of buying a new calculator for the office, but I decided it wasn't really necessary because I can do all the calculations just as easily on a computer. Anyway, I got a new laptop recently because, you know, they have so many applications and they don't take up much space either. Better to have lots of things on the same device, I think. The other thing I bought was a present for my husband's birthday. I thought it would be nice to have a record of our holidays, so I bought him a camera, and I'm hoping to get him more interested in photography. I'm not very keen on the sort of pictures you can take with a mobile phone, you see. I think it's better to go for higher quality.
Right. And here's a question about this building. I know you haven't had a chance to look around a lot yet, but at first sight, what do you think of it?
Oh, it looks pretty good to me. It's got lots of natural light, so you don't have to put up with lots of electric lighting, which can be quite tiring on the eyes. It feels very large and spacious, which is great, because although it's full of activity and quite noisy, it doesn't feel too crowded. Also, When you look up at the ceiling near the entrance with the design of stars and planets on it, that's something I really like. I'm not so keen on those revolving doors, though. I always feel I'm going to get stuck in one.
And did you have any difficulties getting to the exhibition?
Well, coming at this time of day, the roads weren't too busy, so that was all right. And there were plenty of signposts, so the car park was easy to find. The only problem was it was full when I arrived. I guess I should have come earlier, so I had to find another one quite a long walk away, which was a pity. Then we had to stand outside for quite a long time queuing to get in. This exhibition is pretty popular. That was a bit of a problem, because my son gets impatient. But fortunately, it wasn't raining. Otherwise, we might have gone home.